Yeah, welcome everybody. Today we'll be talking about situational leadership. Now, exactly what is the agenda for the day? It's all about the behavior, be it direct or indirect. When I say indirect, I mean supportive behavior, leadership variables thereby, and the situational leadership model. That is what we are going to talk about it. Please understand these are three things that needs to be covered in. So let us begin with directive and supportive behaviors. Clearly telling people what to do, how to do, where to do, and when to do. These four questions, when it been encapsulates and been told, informed to employees, it is called directive or task oriented behavior. Explicitly saying what exactly is expected, how it is to be achieved, when it is to be done, or where it is to be done. So, everything, whether it's venue, whether it's time, whether it's duration, whether it's the process, everything has been stated clearly. And then probably supervising the performances and on a micro details, all everything will be closely noted down. Involves what? It involves listening to people, providing support and encouraging their efforts, facilitating their involvement in problem solving. So these is what the supportive or relationship behaviors is been talked about. Remember, we are looking at supporting leadership. So this is where we go about it. It is where we enthuse confidence by having the highest morale or highest principle in the leader itself, and probably empathizing. The leader himself empathizes with the people so as to build their courage and confidence. So that is what we are looking. Leadership variables. What exactly we will be talking about the variables? Remember, a leader cannot be leader if there are no followers. There are people who are leader because of their formal position as an associate, as a boss. Then we have your colleagues, your associate, your peers going about it. In an organization, many an organization where the formal structure has been noted down, it has been stated for the leadership things, and thereby last but not the least would be the job demand and the time which it commands. These are the leadership variables that one has to go around it, whether you have a follower, whether it's a formal structure, whether your peers, your colleague consider you to be a leadership material within the organization. And definitely there are certain jobs which is pivotal in a nature, which steers the operations of the organization, and most importantly the person dedications to the development of its own people and follow thereby the time that he or she is the leadership variable. In short, about directive and supportive behaviors and leadership variable, this is what we are looking as to build upon. Remember, we can be explicitly said, we can be implicit in our behaviors, and probably we have to cultivate certain variables time and again, therefore, to understand supporting leadership. So, situational leadership model, we'll come to it as in what is discussed around here. Remember, I'll be discussing only this quadrant four times. This is the quadrant that I will be discussing four times. Let me allow you to display the normal curve that goes around it. Remember, it starts from delegating, then probably supporting, coaching, and directing all together. So this is what we are going around it. On an x-axis, what are we dying out? We are doing the directive behavior. Whereas on our y-axis, what are we plotting? We are doing the supportive behavior. So remember, when the directive behavior is high, it is basically directing, and your supporting behavior is low. So it you just intimating you have to get this thing done or instructing it. But when the supporting behavior is high and you are still in the directive behavior, this is where you participate and coach them. You tell them from the ring outside as what to be done, how it to be done, probably monitoring it when in a very high, in a highly supportive manner. So that is what is high directive and high supportive and all about it. Then comes what happens when there is a huge support but low directive. Probably you leave it a lot of things. So what are you doing it? You are entailing a lot of confidence, and probably your as a leader you have enough belief on your support on your followers as such. So you give them a lot of free hand altogether to implement their job. This is where there is a high support from the leader and low directives as how to get the job done is the business of the incumbent. Then what happens when the behavior is low, directive behavior is low, and so is your supporting behavior, both are low, then this is a position where you probably are very sure about it and delegate the task altogether. Delegate it with full confidence, with full trust, with full faith that the outcome will be as per your liking. So basically, what are we doing about the development levels? We are following it at this level from D1, D2, D3, D4, from low to high, and we will discuss these four steps all together in the subsequent slide. Right. So this is what we are talking about. It is what is a supportive development level that is of two types. One is competence and loyalty. So have to have a competence in terms of KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude. Probably you are confident about the task that has been given. Commitment, the motivation, and the confidence has to be there. As for the loyalty factor, is to be counted. So level of development, did I say about D1, D2, D3, D4? I will explicitly explain them in the subsequent slide as D1 is all about being enthusiastic beginner. When we move to the second phase, which is a disillusioned learner, probably until and unless things have been directed, you don't have that enough confidence in yourself, probably to take the next leap of faith. Then comes the reluctant contributors as in D3. Now, probably you are aware of the job tasks, but still the confidence is bare, is lacking. So, what you do is you go about with the process, always keeping your superiors in the loop. So, this is where the reluctant contributor is all about it. But it is in the D4 wherein you shape up as to be the perfect material to head the organization or head the task or the head the functional department as on when on required. This is D1, D2, D3, and D4, all the levels that of development is mentioned out here. So let us talk about D1, which is low competence but probably highest of the commitment. So you're very loyal, very enthusiastic, and you are probably either beginning of the career or you know this is the way the organization is of stupendously reputed one. You just cannot you just cannot negate the career prospect there. So probably your competence might be low but you are determined to make it as an enthusiastic beginner. Similarly, for the some competence but probably low commitment is all about disillusioned learner. Probably you have been coaching. This is the stage where you people were be coached around it. You are no longer being given active support, absolutely told how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, what to do it. So that is what has been. So you are giving a little bit of a freeway and some competence is developed, but the confidence is all which is lacking. So you are a disillusioned learner, probably learning the next phase of the thing. We move to the next phase as in the D3 where there is moderate to high competence. The variable commitment is all about we talking about it. This is where you are reluctant, wherein you need to take the responsibility. You know the job. You know you have the confidence. Just that extra push that needs to be given to you. So this is where you are actually a reluctant contributor. We come to the fourth level altogether is of high competence and high commitment, wherein you are very much comfortable with the ambience of the job. You don't require any directions thereby. You are fully aware of the consequences of all your actions. So this is the position where you perform at the peak. So level of development is of low competence and high commitment in the enthusiastic beginners. Some competence and low commitment is all about disillusioned learner. Moderate to high competence is variable commitment being reluctant contributors, and high competence, high commitment is all of peak performance. Keep on going around it. So development level is always task specific. Remember this about it. If the task is complex, your development level will be on a lower end and it will take much of a time spent on the task to get. what has been mentioned out here. See, this is the leadership of S1, S2, S3, and S4 that comes around it. Yes, the first one would be of directing, wherein there is a high instruction being issued and low support altogether. Leader defines everything, all the things for the follower, be it the role, be it the job, be it the task, be it the process, problem solving and decision making initiated by the leader. And remember, it might be a one-way communication coming from the top or the manager or the leader as the might be. Let us come to the second level. If you we compare with it, we have finished the development level of the followers. Now we are following the leadership style, the four leadership style. Did I say we will be speaking only of the four things that comes around it? So this is what talking around. The next would be coaching, which is high directive. Remember, it's high directive and definitively high supportive. It is a win-win situation where where the followers are absolutely under the control and they know the job and they have the confidence that their superiors are going to back them up. Leader now attempts to hear the followers' suggestions, ideas, and opinion. In this particular stage, it is all about being coaching, probably ways to enhance the activity or probably to add flair to the job altogether. It now the case is not about from a top down approach of communication, but it is all about both kind of communication, both two-way communication that we are talking around it. So control over decision making does still depends on concern. So we will talk about it time and again for you to understand everything out there, which is high supportive but low directive. Focus is controlling is slowly, steadily, but definitely shifting towards the follower. This is a place where we are looking, the leader is looking only for the feedback, and probably the communication can be more from the bottom to the top as leader actively listens and empathizes what has been right and what is wrong. Follower has the ability to of the knowledge and the ability to do the tasks independently. This is what we are calling about the supporting. We come to the quadrant. Remember, the fourth quadrant is all about delegating. It is slowly and steadily the follower has been, and he probably doesn't neither required support nor required directive. So there is little of both of them. This is where the leader discusses the problem with the followers all together, probably at the same par that people are being equated around it. So seeks joint agreement on problem handling and decision making is handled by the subordinates. They run their own show. It's been independently handed over to them. As far as delegation is concerned, you need to understand this is a phase where there's a absolutely hand-holding process has been kept off. Probably the leaders has been developed, the managers has been enacted, competence has been built, including the confidence, and the leader can actually have a hands off in delegating altogether. So we need to maintain this time and again every now. So what happens if there is a mismatch of leadership style and the development level? So what happens as far as there is no mismatch of a D and S? So where there is a development model and where there is a leadership style that comes around it, what happens if they are not on the same? Let us understand increasing followers development level, tell them what to do and when to do, how to do them, show them what you want them, what is expected of them, let them try. Yes, there is some risk, but believe me or not, the reward outweighs the risk altogether. So focus is on the positive. Remember, the performance is what we are looking into it, and eventual consequences can be manicured, can be cultivated for the betterment of the companies altogether. This is what we are looking at it. 5 steps to training winners. How do you go about it? First, tell them what is expected. Show them how it's to be done. Let them try. There is a risk. And obviously focus on the positive as far as the consequences are concerned. Leadership goals, build your followers development style so that you can start using the time consuming style of S3 and S4, still getting high quality result time and again. This is what we are looking at you to build upon it. Build your followers development level so that you can start using less time consuming style as far as S3 and S4 are concerned, which is all about supporting and delegating is concerned, right? So looking into it. So at the end of the day, I have told you about exactly what been said around it. We have spoken about the directive and supportive behavior, the leadership variable that was there, and the situational leadership model that been around it. Remember, situational leadership is not something what you do to people, it is something what you do with people. It is having hands in hand together, and the purpose of leadership is bringing people at par to the requisite competence level. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.